Hello everyone, welcome to Fast Forward Podcast. I'm Joanna Jordi. Today we're presenting a special flash forward edition of Fast Forward Podcast. We will get to know the finalists of the Flash Forward competition who will be moving on to implement the winning projects they proposed. Aie Serve is a youth empowerment non-governmental organization dedicated to developing programs that enable young people to acquire skills and exchange knowledge. Mental health programs, trainings for trainers, capacity building, and creating a support system that helps young people found their own startups and organizations. An organization that is a model in implementing sustainable development goals for quality education, 5, for gender equality, and 8, for decent work and economic growth. Afif, welcome to Fast Forward Podcast.
Thank you, Joanna, for the beautiful introduction.
So tell us more about your project.
So our project is a kind of an alignment with or streamlining SDGs within the work of youth NGOs and clubs. Our highlight or top objective here is to assist organizations like Aie Serve, starting by ourselves, streamline our work and things that we already are doing, and kind of align them with the Sustainable Development Goals. We've realized with time that a lot of organizations do beautiful work, but they're either not aligned with what the community needs or they're not aligned with the strategic sustainable development goals. And so a lot of things go untold or unmeasured, or if it's measured, it does not align with the trends and the highlights or the important factors that the community is looking at right now, or the global community. And so what we're trying to do here is starting by ourselves and how we can streamline our work more with the SDGs and kind of put those steps or the processes that we followed or the guidelines into a guide, a manual that will help other youth NGOs also kind of replicate the experience that we're going through. And then we're going to take a group of youth who are either certified trainers or who worked in training or who aspire to be kind of into that field of consulting and training and are passionate about the SDGs, to empower them with how to take that guide and really work on it on the ground, and how to kind of training of trainers, if you want to call it, but it's more of a training of consultants or facilitators that will help other youth NGOs take it and move forward, so that we can create that ripple effect of growing beyond what Aie Serve has done. And then at the third phase is where we identify 5 organizations as a pilot. It can be a club, a hub, or a youth NGO or a youth community somewhere, where we work with them on streamlining their work with the SDGs and how to and kind of work with them with the steps needed to become more aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, highlighting what goals they worked on, what targets they focus on, how will they measure that progress, and how are they aligned, who are the other potential local and international partners that they can collaborate on those goals, and use that as a pilot to see whether we need to tweak anything or improve in it, or how the community kind of responds to that kind of manual. And the last step is we're going to make an online campaign to showcase what happened to us, the availability of those 10 certified or trained youth who can and are able to do it, and to highlight the work of the 5 NGOs that we supported in the pilot, to kind of give it from there a sustainability element whereby organizations and people within our network and within the youth NGOs in general can reach out to either Aie Serve or to those youth who say, can you help us in doing the same? Kind of creating more job opportunities for those youth to be facilitators or consultants in that field. And that way we would not only have empowered them with the skills, developed the number of NGOs that are sustainable, but also created a job opportunity for those youth in the line of sustainable development. So we're kind of hitting 2 birds in one shot. And that's kind of the summary of what we're thinking about and how we're projecting our work.
Great, so you're aiming for exponential growth.
Absolutely.
It's one organization that is supporting 5 organizations to be able to also support others.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what are the biggest challenges you are facing at the moment in reaching the targets of Sustainable Development Goal 8, decent work and economic growth?
As you know now in Lebanon, with all the different crises and calamities going on, it's becoming more and more challenging to help youth find decent work options. Now, there are work options, but the decent part is not that easy. We've created groups and WhatsApp groups that post job opportunities every day. And we're networking with a lot of NGOs that are creating either job opportunities or training opportunities or exchange programs. And we're also providing those on daily basis. Yet the number and the quality of opportunities that are that provide kind of sustainability and a decent work are much less than what we hope for. But we're always working on that. And that's something related to the whole economy in Lebanon and how the sector is working. A lot of the decent work opportunities are abroad. And so you either have to travel and have a brain drain in Lebanon furthermore, or youth have to accept less than standard, if you want, job positions or careers that they can move on. So trying to strike that balance and kind of search in the nooks and crannies for the good, decent work opportunities and bringing it forward to as many youth as possible and sharing them and giving access to youth for those opportunities.
So what are the next steps and objectives you aim to reach?
Is it related to this program or in general as Aie Serve?
In this program and in general.
Okay, so in
Beyond
this program, to start with this program, it's that different type of career opportunity. We haven't seen organizations that empower 10 youth to become facilitators or consultants and have that career with NGOs or with other youth groups. So that is by itself something new that we're trying to build to the table, bring to the table, kind of create new opportunities rather than search for them. On the other side, we're always looking for, in general here, with Aie Serve to look for new partnerships and new networks that we can identify new opportunities, identify new youth organizations that we can collaborate and support in their work or in empowering them or in showcasing how professional volunteerism takes place. And how does it differ from that one-time volunteer that goes down and does beach cleaning or helps in one activity versus a professional volunteering approach whereby they have roles and positions and they do reporting and they do proper organizational work, not just field work on the ground. So taking volunteers into the next level and at the same time creating those opportunities for you to be engaged in.
Great. So about creating opportunities, and what I hear is it's about benefit from the human resources that we have and all the talents and the
Absolutely,
skills of
absolutely,
people to the
absolutely.
best of our ability.
Yeah, 100%.
What motivated you to participate in the Flash Forward program?
Multiple aspects. One, we've been kind of working towards the SDGs for a while, and we've kind of worked on how to align what are the SDGs we work on, but we haven't taken that deep forward into fully streamlining our work. And we saw that as a great opportunity whereby Aie Serve itself can grow, but also we can create opportunities for youth and for other youth NGOs. So it was a clear alignment between what we're aspiring to do and what Flash Forward is offering. And so we felt it's a good match. Keep in mind that Aie Serve does not apply much to opportunities and grants, and we are self-funded most of the time. A lot of the activities are done by our volunteers or by us, and we contribute financially sometimes to make things happen. And so when we apply for something, we really believe that we are a good fit and we have a chance in not only getting the support, the financial support, but also it is in line with what we aspire to do. So we don't follow donor agendas. We try to find which agendas fit what we do and kind of go forward and pitch to them. And so that alignment and that kind of gives us a leap forward towards what we want to be working on towards the SDGs.
And what were the most important takeaways you got from this program?
From the feedback from the team and things that they went through, I think a lot of interesting sessions took place, whether it is about the biomimicry or about the SDGs and about how the interactions happen, and even the different applicants that were part of the program. There were a lot of interesting ideas and it gave us an idea about who is doing what in the community. And I believe we will be collaborating with some of the other applicants in the near future on different types of activities and different types of projects because we like what they do.
And what are the aha moments that help you develop your project during this program?
Well, there's a lot of the kind of availability of your team kind of coaching and giving suggestions and giving feedback and ongoing follow-up and how you broke down the proposal, not just, you know what, here's the session, give us a full proposal, but you worked on kind of the assignments and the gradual development of the proposal. It helped shape the proposal. It changed with time and a bit of tweaking here and there, but that constant feedback really helped us in shaping the current shape of the project currently.
I want to focus now on you telling us the long-term vision of your organization. Where do you see your organization in, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
Um, that's a bit tricky now with a lot of things happening in Lebanon. If you asked me this question maybe in 2018, it would have been clear. But what we planned for in 2018, a lot of it took place, but a lot of things changed along that way. And in the end of 2020, we kind of did a quick revision on where we want to head, and we developed a new approach, and we focused on more on economic empowerment and youth well-being, because we found those as pressing needs with all the lockdowns, with all the loss of jobs and opportunities. Moving forward for the next 5 years, I think keeping our hand on the pulse, knowing what the youth need on regular basis, rather than what we aspire or what we dream for 5 years from now, because the grounds are changing quickly, the markets are changing quickly, the situation in Lebanon is very volatile, and so what I aspire for is that Aie Serve not only develops its abilities to be aligned with the SDGs, but also continues its approach of being in touch with the community needs and responding to them as fast as possible. That might be a few weeks or a few months, but being able to be responsive to community needs, to the youth community needs, is what we're looking for. And so building that internal mindset and the processes of saying we are not typically married to our programs or what we want to do. We are more interested in what the community needs right now, and we will develop something, come up with solutions, initiatives or projects that help fulfill that need at that time. And when there's no more need for that, we can retire that objective or retire that program or initiative and focus on what is the new need or a more pressing issue at that time.
So using feedback loops to the best of your ability is
Absolutely.
fab. Great. So what can communities do collectively to achieve Sustainable Development Goal 8, decent work and economic growth?
Um, I think the number one thing which thank God, we're pretty good at is collaborations and partnerships rather than competing. We've seen a lot of youth or a lot of organizations, specific youth organizations, kind of compete towards recruiting youth or recruiting volunteers or pitching for a program or doing something like that, rather than collaborating and working together and saying, you know what, you take that grant, but I can help you in doing 1, 2, 3. Or you know what, you have I have extra volunteers, you have the space, can we share your space and we can do a joint activity in that location and do XYZ? Or you have a program that does training on digital literacy, can we take the participants of your program and then give them an additional program of mentorship and startup? So building onto each other's activities rather than trying to compete and getting the whole cake. Let's get a piece of the cake and collaborate together. So partnerships and collaborations, I think, are key. And that starts by having good relationships and goodwill. And it happens with time. But a lot of the youth NGOs know each other, at least the ones that we know. They either know each other or we know them. A lot of them haven't collaborated yet. But when we come in and say, you know what, we've been in discussion with X and Y and Z, and we see there's a thread that's coming between all of us, and how about we do 1, 2, 3? All of them say yes, they don't mind, but they haven't had that idea of, you know what, let's collaborate rather than compete. Let's find a common thread that we can build on together. And that's what constantly we try to focus on, whether we've worked with Make Sense or Nawaya Network or Impact Lebanon or Embrace or so many other organizations that we've collaborated with in the past just year. All of them were built on that. So we're saying, we're not here to compete. What are you doing? Here's what we're doing, how we can build on each other's skills, expertise, resources, material, network, whatever it is, that we can help each other, help youth. Eventually, the end line here is how much impact we can leave on youth and how much we can help youth improve their economic state and their mental well-being, into their participation, into their civic engagement. All of those are what we really care about. And the way we get about it is through usually partnerships.
Definitely. A very important shift in culture and the way people do things together is creating more partnerships and collaborations.
Yeah.
Definitely agreed on that. So, what advice do you give to the Lebanese youth who are actually experiencing hardships?
Ooh, wow. That's a big question. Depends on the types of hardship. Some of them are university or school students that are finding it hard to actually get through their education, whether it's because it's online or it's too expensive to go to school or the quality of education at their school, or knowing what they need to major. Uh, but there's another category who just graduated and they are finding hardships in finding a job or getting into that market and get to the job. Others are working, but they hate their guts and they're getting paid peanuts. And so they want a career shift or they want to know how to develop their skills so that they can be more attractive to other organizations or to the market. So each one of them have different types of hardships. They're going through different challenges. Um, what I can say, grosso modo, is that there is definitely some organization working to help you, whether you are a school student challenged with education or with your mental well-being or with social skills, or whether you're a university student looking for a scholarship or career guidance, or you're a person who's want to develop skills into the technical and digital world or go into the NGOs. There is definitely an organization working to support you. So do some research, ask around, find who's supporting your category, your age group, your that component, and ask for help, get support.
Yes, reaching out. Definitely good advice. Yeah, because it's community that could help build the
And there's no one NGO that's serving
capability.
everyone, so or that can serve anyone. But if they ask, for example, if someone comes and asks us about something that we cannot offer or we do not offer, but we probably can guide them towards who they can ask, and so we can connect them with the right person, and vice versa. So they, when someone reaches out, اطلب تعطى, so kind of when you go out and knock that door, it opens. There's people who can help you. You have to knock the door.
Definitely. Yes, and finding your niche as well,
Absolutely,
and where you fit best fit, or your skills or talents best fit.
absolutely.
That's great advice. So thank you so much, Afif. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Our pleasure.
We, you can tune in to our website, fastforward2030.com/Lebanon, to learn more details about our Flash Forward competition and our other activities that support the Sustainable Development Goals. From Fast Forward 2030 Lebanon, let us honor our natural and human heritage to create the best life conditions possible for our future generations. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.